Hi, everybody, and welcome to show number 4 for the 2022 season of Off Track TV. I'm the voice, Shane Andrews, and we welcome you to our studio here in Weedsport, New York, as we will be talking about what we love best. That is short track racing. Now, usually at this point of the show, I say hello to my good friend and co-host, Dan Kapuscinski, who's normally sitting right beside me. But tonight, family commitments have kept him at home, and he is joining us live via Zoom, via whatever he's on, satellite, we'll say, from his home up there in Fulton, New York. Hi, Dan, and welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, Shane. Thanks for having me. Yeah, sorry I couldn't quite make it in today. A lot going on right now. We're getting, as we'll talk about later, we're getting 2 race cars ready to go this weekend as well. So it's been a busy week, but looking forward to everything that's coming up.
Well, please, if you would, know you've got a lot of things going on and your family commitments here tonight. Tell Liz and the kids we're sorry that we're taking you away from their time here for a little bit here tonight. And by the way, I got to say, that is a beautiful looking cart that is sitting right behind you. What do you got there?
Yeah, that's actually our Clone Heavy cart that we run at Weedsport on Sundays and Thursdays. Jamie Schutz is the driver. It'll be running this Sunday in Clone Heavy and Pro Clone 360. So it's a 2021 Slack Pursuit chassis, and it's got a nice insert race shop engine on it. And we're looking forward to hopefully being back racing with it this Sunday at the Shortport.
Yes, key words there. This Sunday at the Shortport, the Weedsport Cartway. We do have an event scheduled. It is right now all green flag. We're ready to rock and roll. But take us through some of the things for this weekend going on at the Shortport.
Yeah, it's a jam-packed day. It's the second of our Slack Kart Super Kart Series races. So we're going to have all 8 points classes running, but then we also have our Kart Cup Twin 20s for the pro. So they'll run 2 20-lap twins. They'll each be $500 to win a piece, and then we keep points for the overall finish of the 2 twins, and then we'll award another $500. So ironically, the Kapuscinski cart behind us with Jamie driving is the defending champion of Kart Cup. So we're looking forward to hopefully getting back there and hopefully visiting Victory Lane again. So we did post on Facebook today, obviously. The forecast is about anywhere from about a 50 to a 70% chance of rain right now on Sunday. We're always upfront about that. So we are going to post another update tomorrow morning and then make a full decision on our plans for Sunday, probably early on Saturday morning. Unlike a lot of the local karting facilities, we have tons of competitors that travel in from out of state, lots from Pennsylvania. We had a racer from Maryland a couple of weeks ago, one that comes from Indiana nearly every time we race. So we like to try and be as considerate as we can in regards to the weather.
And I do have to ask, one of the competitors coming into this weekend, is Missy Boots going to be here? After all, last time she was in Central New York, she picked up that win at the New York State Fairgrounds in the kart race on the asphalt. Is she going to be in town this weekend?
She won't be here this weekend, but she was actually here 2 weeks ago when we had our opener at Weedsport. She won 2 of the Clone Light events. And was actually running second in the Pro Clone 360 race. Her and race leader Jared John got together with about 2 laps to go. So unfortunately, she didn't have the finish she was looking for in that one. But I'm sure Missy will be back for us for another of our 2,000 to win races later in the fall.
Well, keep an eye on Facebook and all the social media and on the website for what's going on with the Shortport this weekend, the Weedsport Cartway, right here on the property. Speaking of the Weedsport Speedway property, Dan, we're going to be getting things kicked off here in just a couple of weeks. May 29th, the Heroes Remembered 100, the Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series, DIRTcar Sportsman, and the CSRA Sprints are also going to be in town. I don't know about you, my friend, but I cannot wait to see a race right here back at the Weedsport Speedway.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, it's like that Heroes Remembered race at Weedsport on Memorial Day weekend always kind of feels to me like the official, like, jump start to summer.
Yes.
Because it's the first time you get all of the Super Dirt Car Series guys right here in Central New York at Weedsport, the home of Dirt Car Modified Racing and the Super Dirt Series. And, you know, all the cars and stars come out for that one. The stands are always packed. And it's always a fantastic weekend, really. You know, obviously we have the beautiful campground at Weedsport, too. That we encourage folks to go online and book camping for the entire weekend. one day of racing, but a full weekend of fun if you come out early and spend the entire time with us.
More information on the May 29th race here, the Heroes Remembered 100 at weedsportspeedway.com. Want to remind everybody, if you have any questions for Dan and I later on in the show, send us info at weedsportproductions.com. You can like us on Facebook. You can also hit us up on Twitter. I'm at NYVoice13. And Dan, your Twitter handle, where everybody can find you.
It is, at Dan_Kapuscinski.
Now, we talked about Weedsport opening up, and that is really where you mentioned, Dan, the lid lifter of summer, if you will, for us here at the port. But many tracks in central New York and throughout the Northeast have already opened up. We already saw a Super Dirt Car Series race at Bridgeport Speedway a couple weeks ago. But last weekend, right here in central New York, we both were able to get a flavor and get some dirt in our beer, if you will. Friday night, I went out to the out to the Brewerton Speedway, and Larry White put out a clinic out there with that number 99 I'll tell you what, lightning is pretty darn quick early on in 2022.
Well, that's what I had heard. Led every lap out there, I believe, and he's been running very, very well. I think 2 wins in a row at Land of Legends Raceway as well. A couple of people, I was actually at Fulton Speedway on Saturday night, had been there the last 2 weeks. We went out for the second part of the High Bank Holdup weekend. And a lot of folks, kind of wonder, well, why is Larry White not at Fulton? Why it's a Saturday home. Where is he going? And talked to his mom a little bit. I was getting some stuff for Michael from the souvenir trailer, and she said he's really just focusing very heavily on the big block right now and that entire program and what they're doing. And I would say it's certainly paying dividends. He has been very tough to beat here early on. And
at Fulton on Saturday night, Tim Sears Jr. picking up the win, and a much-needed win. They made the 5-hour drive down to Bridgeport for the Super Dirt Series race last week, only to blow a rear end early on. Their night was over, and they headed home. So they needed a much-needed win for that team.
Yeah, it was a great rebound for Tim. I had a chance to talk to him in the pit area before the races. We were mingling around a little bit, and he said it was the strangest thing. They unloaded, they went out, and it didn't just break the rear end. It blew the entire drive line out of the car, right from the back of the engine on through. So one of those things you don't see happen very often, and one of those things that you really can't fix at the racetrack at that point. So a very tough break for them to make that journey, just to have to turn around and come home.
Well, not only have the big block modifieds and the small block modifieds taken to the Speedway, but also the DIRTcar Sportsman. And when we return here to Off Track TV, we are going to be joined by one of the hottest drivers in Central New York in the Sportsman ranks. The driver of the number 64, Tyler Corcoran, will be in studio with us when we return.
Weedsport Productions is the live video production company that you need at your next event. Our mobile production truck is outfitted with the most advanced broadcast equipment in the industry. Weedsport Productions covers racing, live sporting events, corporate events, and concerts. We can broadcast your event live, stream it to the internet, or produce an exciting in-venue experience for your audience. Visit weedsportproductions.com now to learn more.
Welcome back to Off Track TV. Shane Andrews, Dan Kapuscinski, bringing you the latest news and updates here from Weedsport, New York. And Dan, I've got to admit, I know I've been in the racing game a long time, and I'm getting old. You know how I know this, my friend?
I can guess.
Yes, because our guest that is joining us, I have literally, and I do mean literally, have watched grow up, okay? Tyler Corcoran, driver of the number 64 DIRTcar Sportsman. Tyler, great to have you here. Thanks for coming in.
Pleasure to be here.
You know, and I say I've watched him grow up because I worked for his grandfather, Harvey, at Brewerton and Fulton Speedways. His mom, Lori, his dad, Jeremy, have been involved with the sport for a number of years, and we'll touch base on that. But Tyler, let's talk about your career. You started out in the go-karts. You've made your way up the ranks to the DIRTcar Sportsman, and you've already got a couple of wins under your belt this year.
Yeah, this has definitely been one of the best years I've had already to start off. Last year was a little rough, and then we got going. And right now, the momentum we have definitely is a great start to kick off the year.
Well, Tyler, I gotta wonder myself. You said you finished last year so strong, got that track championship at Can-Am. Did that put any extra pressure on you to try to come out and be able to do all those things again this year?
Yeah, it definitely did. The way we kind of ended October a little struggling, but to start off, like I said, already with 2 wins and come out, definitely to go for 3 in a row at Can-Am would be awesome. And Saturday night to make the transition to Land of Legends would definitely be cool to pull one out there as well.
Now, you've got 2 track championships up at the Can-Am Speedway. Last year at Land of Legends, you picked up a couple wins, especially that big Sportsman Series win and everything. So that's got to give you a lot of confidence, especially going into that big half mile. And the success you've had, both tracks, big half miles, you must really like the big fast tracks.
Yeah, I do. They're pretty similar, so we kind of go everywhere with the same setup. And like you said, to win that series race, that was, I think, our 3rd in a row, actually. So it was pretty cool to come out and race against the best of the best sportsmen out there, and then definitely let them know that we're not there to mess around.
Well, Tyler, it seemed like you had speed and really took to the sportsman ranks as soon as you got in there. What can you kind of attribute that to? What was it that about yourself, about your style, that just seemed to work out well in sportsman pretty much right off the bat?
Definitely my father. He's definitely been a big influence with all the stuff that he knows and everything, and then the big COVID year, actually, I started going helping out Kevin Root, and he was a big mentor to me, and definitely him and Scott Jeffrey, big part of who I am today.
Your dad was a racer as well, competed in big block modifieds for a number of years. Your dad, Jeremy, is also regarded as probably one of the best track preparers in the Northeast, if not the United States. I'm curious, because of his knowledge being able to put a racing surface together, what kind of advice or knowledge did he give to you about how to read a racetrack, to know what to do with the setups when you go out for any time of the night?
Yeah, he's actually really taught me pretty well. It's actually really simple in what he does, too. And pretty much you just got to see how much water they put down. And, if they got the top a little more extra water, you can be able to run the top that night. If they got the bottom a little too wet, it's going to definitely hold a lot of moisture around the bottom. That's probably going to be the place to be.
Giving away little speed secrets there, Dan. Gave us a little tidbit there.
Right. Well, Shane kind of started to hint to my next thought, and really I think something that a lot of people would like to know. We saw it a lot, specifically at Super Dirt Week last year, when your dad kind of came in and really tried to rectify things and work that racetrack and get it back working. He was a busy man, but it wasn't on your race car. So what is the dynamic like when you're in these situations where you've got your dad, he's helped you so much, you're working on the cars together, but then he has to put that other hat on at the same time. How does that work for you?
He doesn't. I mean, I don't mind it because less arguments, That's a father-son kind of thing. I think everybody deals with it. But at the end of the day, he's helps me out tremendously with everything, and I don't know what else to say about that guy. He definitely busted his chops last year to do everything he could at that track and missed all of my races and everything else to go and try to help out and support everyone else and not give him a rough track to race on.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't mention another big supporter of yours, and that's your mom, Lori. She's at all your races as well, and I know that there's a lot of things that she does behind the scenes for the race team as well.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely one of my biggest supporters, way more than my dad. My mom expects me to go out there and win every single night. I'm like, Mom, you got to have a little bit more of an expectation better than that.
Well, Tyler, it's we're getting ready into the throes here of the season, and you've got a lot coming up. What is sort of the goals and expectations for this 64 team this year? You've already done so much. What's kind of next on the horizon for you of what you'd like to accomplish?
Obviously go to every track that we go to and show that we're there and make everyone know that who the 64 car is going to be this year. And we definitely don't want to just settle for wins at Can-Am and the big tracks. We want to tackle the short ones that get there going to it, especially at Weedsport. Weedsport is one of my favorite tracks to race at besides the half miles. And I think now what they got with the new configuration going, I think it's going to be pretty sweet.
Is there a track that's been kind of your Achilles heel that I've just had a little bit of struggle getting around, and I want to tame this place?
Fulham was pretty bad for us last year. We could not do anything well there last year, no matter what we tried. Brewerton used to be a thorn right in our side, but we kind of got that one a little bit better now. And like I said, Weedsport also was a killer, but I think it's going to be awesome this year.
What do you think it is about your driving style that pertains to the half miles so well? Or is it just maybe how good that race car is set up, or just a combination of both?
Definitely a combination of both. I don't think we really hit on a short track setup quite yet, but definitely my driving style. I do like the bigger tracks that can hold it straighter and not be so cocked sideways and throw off my momentum like a lot of other drivers try and do. And I just like to be smooth behind the wheel and try just keeping my speed up.
You know, and you hit on a very big point, keeping your speed up and the momentum. And that's really what it takes to wheel these crate-motored cars around, because there's not much you can change, but the momentum is key, isn't it?
Yeah, all the cars are pretty much about the same. It's just about how much momentum we can carry in and throughout the corner, because other than that, we're almost all about the same speed.
Tyler Corcoran, driver of the number 64, watching some of his highlights here from Land of Legends Raceway. Tyler in studio with us. Dan, sitting at home, you are also a former sportsman racer, so I'm sure a lot of the things that Tyler's saying that you can relate to that you've been through yourself.
Well, you know, being an asphalt guy, I can definitely relate to enjoying keeping the car straight. When I would go to tracks like Brewerton and things like that, I would tend to struggle a little bit myself, but we were lucky enough to run the very last year at the Syracuse Mile, and that's the closest you can get to pavement. You know, hold it wide open, keep it straight. So it all makes sense to me. But what I really enjoy watching, you know, about Tyler is just that, man, you're really able to adapt quickly, and a great young man and a great advocate for the sport. I mean, seeing young guys like you do what you do and behave in the manner that you do, it's really a perfect way to promote not only the sportsman division, but DIRTcar as a whole, because kids are watching you and ready to make that move up the ladder.
There's one individual I know that watches you. That's your little sister.
Yeah, she does. She's been keeping a good close eye and contact on how I do every night this year, which has been good.
What's the future plans? I mean, obviously you have progressed from go-karts, karts into the sportsman ranks. Any thoughts with the big block modified sprint cars? What's the future like for?
Definitely thought about moving up to a 350A. I want to try tackling the DIRTcar Championship this year and go for 3 in a row. And then if we get one at Land of Legends, we might just say, you know, it's time and move up and hopefully get 350A or a big block.
And you're also heavily involved not only in racing, but also with the promotion side, with the Northeast Trade Show, also the Motorsports Expo as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good thing my dad's doing. He turned that show around big time, both of them. And it's honestly amazing to see the amount of support, like not even vendors, but just all people that are like, wow, Jeremy, you actually have done a really good job with this and all that. It's cool.
Is that any interest in you down the road there, Tyler? What about you being a promoter?
Yeah, I think I could do it. I just got to become more of kind of a people person. I mean, he's really not either, but he is at the right moments.
Now, there is talks that, and we saw this at the Motorsports Show, that there is going to be an indoor dirt race next year in Syracuse. You going to have a ride for that?
I hope so. My dad actually bought one over the winter and is going to hopefully try putting either Shepherd or Friesen and try getting some ticket sales going.
Oh, nice. So bumped you out of a ride?
Yeah, I told him, I go, you better buy me another one then.
Nothing like putting a little pressure on Dad to get, hey, Dad, can I have the keys to the family car for a dirt race, you know? Tyler, thanks for coming in tonight. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule to visit with Dan and I and all our viewers for Off Track TV. Best of luck this year. Be safe and look forward to seeing you all over the DIRTcar circuit with that number 64, but we'll catch you some night out at Land of Legends and also right here at the Weedsport Speedway.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Tyler Corcoran, driver of the number 64 DIRTcar Sportsman, in studio here with us tonight. When we return, Dan and I will try and solve some of the world's problems, and we might even create a few while we're at it. Stick around. We'll be right back with Off Track TV.
Weedsport Speedway is home of the fastest cars and biggest stars. With over $1 million in recent upgrades, our fans know this is the premier race destination in the Northeast. The fan experience is at the forefront of everything we do. LED light shows, luxury suites, premium stadium seating, and a 27-foot HD video display to engage and entertain fans. And by the way, our fans, our fans kick ass. They are committed and loyal. They bring their families to races. They consistently engage with us over social media, on our website, and tune into our incredible productions airing on national TV and streaming online. This year features an exciting season of events. It's a blast to go fast. Want to talk to a growing audience and next-generation fans? Customized sponsorship opportunities make it super easy. We have event sponsorships, product sponsorships, digital billboards, web, social, digital ads, race day displays and signage, booths and promotions. Video opportunities both in-venue, on national TV, and streaming online. The drivers, the excitement, the speed. The Port Burgers are why fans show up. At Weedsport Speedway, our venue and production are the reason they keep coming back. Be a part of the best season yet.
Welcome back, Off Track TV. Shane Andrews in studio. Dan Kapuscinski at home with family commitments tonight. And a big thanks to Liz and the kids for letting us steal them away for a few minutes. Dan, you know, as we look into our crystal ball and into the future, our next show is coming up on Thursday, June 2nd. And I've got a couple of things I want to throw out at you. You okay with that if I give you a little hint of what we're going to have?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we are tentatively going to have couple of very fine guests with us. One of those guests is going to be Neil Kalman from Hoosier Racing Tire. We're going to have him joining us to talk about the state of affairs with Hoosier Racing Tire. As we all know, everything from top to bottom, diesel prices, gas prices, food prices, everything taking a big hit with the economy. And everybody has heard the news of what's going on with American Racer. We're also going to try and reach out to our friends at American Racer to see if we can get somebody to join us on the show. But Neil reached out to him this week. He couldn't make this week's edition, but we've got him slated for June 2nd, the next time we're in. So, Dan, get your questions ready for the tire guy for that night.
Yeah, I probably have some specific questions myself. I went to pick up tires yesterday at Oswego, and needless to say, I've got to wait a couple more weeks to get what I need. But, you know, having a discussion with somebody like Neil will be very, very good, especially for fans to tune in and hear what he has to say about, you know, the struggles that everybody's facing, mostly from a resources standpoint. So that'll be a great thing to have him on the show.
And, Dan, I also pulled off a major coup today for the first time. Now, he might get mad at me for announcing this tonight because people will actually probably hound him and bombard him for autographs and knowledge of what's going to happen. But, Dan, I was able to talk our good friend, team manager and crew chief, Kurt Weigel, into joining us in studio for the Thursday night, June 2nd show.
We've only been talking about that for 4 years.
Yes.
Way to go, buddy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. It took me a while. I think because I took Bev to the shop with me today, you know, I think that was the what pushed him over the edge to say yes. So 2 great guests coming up on Thursday, June 2nd, our next show. We're going to delve into a bunch of topics, especially the State of the Union and how to get parts, pieces, and the whole ball of wax and how it's affecting race teams. And, Dan, I know with your Oswego schedule starting up here in a couple of weeks, you're going to be able to give us some in-depth knowledge on that as well. As a matter of fact, you've got a race this Saturday, don't you?
Yes, we do. The Jake's Automotive Small Block Super Championship Series is opening up on Saturday at the Evans Mills Raceway Park. If you have not had a chance, or if you've never been to Evans Mills, or if you haven't gone since 2018, you need to go back. Lee and Peggy Gill are running that speedway now, and they've done some amazing things. They had 350 Super Modifieds there last week with their full complement of racers, including Asphalt Sportsman Modifieds. And our small block supers will be there this Saturday. We start racing at 6:30. So visit them at evansmillsracewaypark.com for more information. The weather for Saturday looks absolutely beautiful.
Well, good luck out there. Be safe, my man. We'll look forward to seeing
Thank
those
you.
victory lane photos. Defending Oswego Speedway champion Dan Kapuscinski will be there at Evans Mills. Dan, what do you say? You want to take a couple of questions, see if we can solve some of the world's issues?
Let's do it.
All right. Grandmaster 9 asks, were you guys surprised that the Super Dirt Series regulars did not fare better against the Bridgeport regulars a few weeks ago for the Super Dirt Series?
I wasn't really that surprised. Bridgeport is one of those tracks that really obviously caters to the locals, and you've got a lot of top New Jersey runners that run at Bridgeport all the time. So it wasn't a surprise to me, and it's not something like you see the same thing with the World of Outlaws. That when they go to the PA Posse and make those runs through Pennsylvania, the local guys tend to steal the show every now and then. And so, no, I was not surprised at all to see the Jersey drivers fare so well at Bridgeport.
You know, when you look at the Super Dirt Series schedule and where they go throughout the year, there's always these tracks that jump out at me where the Super Dirt Series regulars have a challenge with the track regulars, Bridgeport being one of them. Obviously, Ryan Godown ran the series a couple of years ago, but he was due, and he got his win. Billy Pouch Jr., very good there. Stuart Friesen can win any place he goes. He's proven that. Matt Williamson, he was fourth on the grid, and, you know, Jimmy Phelps and Billy Decker started someplace back on the other side of Maryland,
yep.
And they ended up with respectable top 10 finishes. Orange County is another track where the regulars always seem to give the Super Dirt Series drivers fits, along with the Lebanon Valley Speedway. So was I surprised? No, but on the same token, I think everybody kind of expects things to shake out like they did as well.
Yeah, and, sort of unique facilities that will cater to the guys that have, and I don't even like to say more experience, it's just being there every week just adds something to what you can do, particularly early in the night. And we know how important it is to be fast right off the box with the Super DIRTcar Series. But, man, Shane, overall, that was a fantastic feature. I don't care who was in the front, who won it. We were on the edge of our seat towards the end of that, watching go down and freeze and go at it. It was a great way to start the series season.
It sure was. I'll tell you, that was an exciting race to call, and I hope it came across that way in the broadcast. But a spectacular race. Thank you. 75 laps, $7,500 to win. Next Super Dirt Series race this Wednesday, Can-Am Motorsports Park. Up there, the nasty track of the north. We're bound for a good one up there. DIRTcar Pro Stocks in competition as well. Ingrid26 asks, and she wants to know, what do you think will happen with Matt Williamson and Danny Creedon in the future after the short track Super Series race at Accord the other night? Now, Dan, are you up to speed on what happened down there?
Oh, yeah. We were out here working on the go-kart. We had it on the TV in the garage. And I was, at first when I saw Creedon step over, he's a big guy. And I would have been nervous for Matt Williamson at first, but then he had those big bull horns in his hand. And then I was nervous for Creedon. I'm like, oh, this could get crazy. But, that's the stuff you love to see. And that's why all of the live streaming that we're so fortunate to see now with our beloved modifieds is so fantastic, because we would have just read about that, but now we have the opportunity, whether it be Dirt Vision, Dirt Track Digest, or whatever else, to see these as they happen. And you can feel the tension, and now you can't wait to see them race again.
I know. It's almost palpable. You can cut the tension with a knife. Listen, Accord Speedway, okay, you mentioned it. He had the bullhorns in his hand. Why? It's a bull rink, short track racing. Things happen. You can expect to see some elbows thrown. You can expect to see some bent sheet metal. It's bound to happen, and it just so happened for the lead. Now, Danny Creedon, like you said, he's a big guy. I would not mess with him. Matt Williamson is an intense racer. I wouldn't mess with him either. Bottom line, these guys were racing for some money. It's what they do for a living. It's what carries them through the offseason and that momentum. It's just going to build excitement for the next race. Do I think something might happen down the road? You never know. The only way we're going to find out is to watch and see. Dan, I think that does it for another great show, the fastest half hour here in Central New York.
I love it, Shane. Wish I could have been there with you guys tonight, but look forward to being back on June 2nd. And hope you guys all have a great week or great next couple of weeks and enjoy as many races as you can.
You too, Dan, and good luck this Saturday up at Evans Mills with that small black super. Well, race fans, that's it. It wraps it up for another greatest edition of Off Track TV. For the guys behind the scenes, Brett Moses, Art Rourke and Don Boshin, thank you very much for making us look and sound good. Don't forget, Thursday, June 2nd, 8 p.m., Facebook Live is our next edition of Off Track TV. For Dan Kapuscinski, my name is The Voice, Shane Andrews, saying thank you for joining us. And remember, support a racetrack near you.